Thank God for the Group Chat is a Fresh Air Media production and will start in exactly 30 seconds.
I need an arm pump, I come back, welcome me back, you wanna go till you fall, I come give you that. You want pump, I come back, welcome me back, you wanna dance sad, you should welcome me back, you wanna pump, I come back, welcome me back, you wanna go till you fall, I come give you that. You want pump, I come back, welcome me back, you wanna dance sad, you should welcome me back, you should welcome, you should welcome, you should welcome, you should welcome back, you should welcome, you should welcome, you should welcome, you should welcome back.
Hello, everyone. This is Keith, and you are listening to Thank God for the Group Chat. Today is Thursday, or I don't know what day you'll be listening to this, but it's dropped on a Thursday. Today is a very special episode. We'll jump right into it. I have with me the co-founders. Is that right? Can I say that? Co-founders, co-creators of Fat Sisters. Today's guests are the co-founders of the Atlanta-based flavor food specialist group Fat Sisters, not to mention friends of the show, Chef Tamika Carr and Chef Gina Williams. How are you ladies doing today?
Pretty good.
Hello. Good.
How are you?
I'm good. Glad to have you guys here. Glad to have you. This is a long time coming. Been wanting to do this for a minute now, so I'm glad that we're able to flesh this out and really delve into some things here. So how's your 2021 starting off? Good, I hope.
Yeah. I mean, we won't know really until this weekend.
What is that?
We took a little break. Yeah, we took a little break.
break.
We've been on a little short mini vacation after the holiday. So we jumping back into it. Actually, kind of started jumping back into it today. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just had a big account for Christmas. So we after that, I mean, we worked the whole Christmas day, and after that, we needed this break. We actually worked that whole Christmas week, actually.
Right.
If I think about it.
Right.
Tell us about that. What was that like? What I mean, maybe you can't tell us everything, but what was all that about? Christmas Day and all of that. Big client. That sounds like good news to me.
Yeah.
Taking breaks are super important.
Did you want to say it, Chef T?
Yeah, we actually had the privilege of doing American Airlines. We catered their holiday meals for their employees who actually had to work that day. So it was a 3-shift pickup. So we actually got started that Christmas Eve. We went in Christmas Eve night to get ready for them to come pick up starting Christmas morning. So it was a whole almost near
it's like what, 20 hours?
Yeah, it was 20 hours.
It was
about 20 hours.
11 p.m. Christmas Eve to 7 p.m. Christmas Day.
Right.
Wow. What was that like?
It was it was tough. It was real tough. But I think I mean, we the dynamic duo, so you know, and we had a really good team behind us. A lot of great young men and women who were helping us each shift, and we got the work done. There were a lot of learning moments during that time, and a lot of moments where we could really see who could take it and, you know, who needed help. And
so you had people there with you guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
We had a staff. Oh yeah. I don't think we could have done it without them. Like we could have, but we would have been probably stressed out. But yeah, we had a really great staff. And you know, it was a good experience. Like we've done stuff like this before, but I don't think it was to this large extent. I mean, we've done large things, but I mean, like from 11 to 7, that was pretty interesting. That was tough.
But I don't think G has.
I have. Sorry.
Yeah, she has it. But it it was going back to my roots that I said I was no longer gonna do.
Right,
Right.
right. So speaking of roots, I know that this company started off as, correct me if I'm wrong on the acronym, but it started off as RFC Catering. Am I correct?
Close.
RFA.
RFA,
RFA.
RFA, RFA. Um, so what was the transition like? So you guys went back to your roots, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Speak about your transition from that into Fast Sisters. Tell us, just give us the whole Fast Sisters story, if you will.
Hey, I like that fat story.
And she's gonna run with it for real.
That's fine. I love it. That's what we do on
um,
this show.
right.
Hmm.
Well, so from my side, Chef's been doing RFA catering for 20 plus years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 20 plus years. And I came on the back end when I was 14/15 years old as an intern. I loved cooking as a young child. And my mom heard about this program at Tri-Cities High School. They had a culinary arts program in Fulton County. So I started there. I met Chef Carr as she was our mentor for the culinary arts team. And then that's when like my eyes were really open to catering, open to cooking, because she took me, Chauncey and Nate and a couple of other of us kids in and really showed us like what it means to be, African American chef
Mm.
in Atlanta. So like I knew it instantly when I was working with her, like, oh, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life because this is what I love. So we were catering. I got used to her family, who's my family now, and we had a big move, and Chef moved to North Carolina, and
Right.
um and was there for like what 3 years? It was 3 years.
Yeah.
But as when she moved, we were still doing stuff. So we had a couple of clients, and we would still have a couple of catering events. But when she came back, she had this health issue that she really wanted to dive into, which is Crohn's disease.
Mm.
And I believe Zion had colitis, right?
Right. That's my youngest
And
son.
right.
Yeah.
And who actually worked with us on Christmas and did a great job too. But
Well, he's very enthusiastic about the company as well, from my understanding. So that's
yeah,
on brand.
yeah,
Absolutely.
right. But she was we were sitting down and we were talking, and Chef was like, I want to do something different. I was like, okay. And she was like, we got these jams, because that's when the jams started rolling out.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to make a difference and give back to the community and give back to the Crohn's, disease organization. So I was like, all right, that sounds pretty good. So what are we going to do? And we decided to do meal prepping at first. Meal prep was our first thing we wanted to start out with. We wanted to make flavorful food that is healthy for our people, our African American community, but isn't shunned. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think of healthy, people are like, like they ain't got no salt, or it's no taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's bland. But that's what we wanted to show people. Like food doesn't have to be greasy to be good. Or food doesn't have to come, from a fast food restaurant to be good. You can actually get healthy, flavorful food and at your doorstep. And we wanted to use what we loved to do. Like we love to create, we love to collaborate. We like to do different cuisines. We don't just want to do Southern cuisine. We want to fuse it with other things. I think that's the best word to use. We want to do a fusion. And me and Chef, we just, we come up with really good ideas together. Usually it's almost like we have the same mind sometimes. Because I could call her up and be like, hey, I was just thinking. She's like, oh, wait, I literally was just writing this down. And so we'll collaborate and we'll end up having it'll be the same exact thing. Or maybe the way she wants to plate it is different from what I wanted to plate it. or maybe the flavors that she has is better than what I wanted to flavor with. But we collaborate. That's the big thing about Fat Sisters. It's all about communication, collaborating, and making a difference in our community, doing what we love to do. And I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I didn't want to tell the long story of it, but because it's pretty long. It's like what, almost 10 plus years long. But it's pretty good.
Not Fat Sisters. We've
I
only
know not
been,
Fat Sisters. I'm just saying like the root story.
yeah, the root story in a nutshell, coming from RFA Catering, which was a company that was created by myself and my mom, and my dad was a silent partner per se. And but yeah, we were this, Black-owned catering company on the southwest side of town. And I always like to make that known. Again, that's the point of fast as well, being on the southwest side of town. But we were this company that people thought, who are the owners of this company? They can't be Black because of how and what we did and what it looked like when you came to your event, because to them it must be white because of how it's looking. But with that being said, we were written up in some magazines. We had written up in the AJC. We won a few awards. We did our little thing. And from there, like you said, we got tired. My parents got tired. They finally decided to retire, and I kind of decided to leave. But from leaving, it made me really learn more about who I am. Sometimes you have to kind of walk away to figure out some things, and basically that's what I did. And it brought me back home. And it, even though before I left, the creation of Fat Sisters, that name was created and brought upon us before I even left to go. A lot of these things we were creating inside our FAK. And then it was, we started off with this crazy long name, Naturally Southern Jams, that it just it was a little too much. But then, I had a business mentor who was given to me from my church, Buckhead Church. And she sat down with me and we were going over my finances, trying to figure out things, trying to get me back on track. And she's like, talk to me about the business. Talk to me about what you want to do now. And I just started spilling all these ideas. Then she said, bring Gina to our next meeting. I don't know if Gina remembers that or not.
I do.
And so she comes, and from that, even that Fat Sisters logo, that was created by her. Shout out to Leanne. I love Leanne. Leanne gave me the spirit and the vision to move forward with this and to try to look at things differently and to see a whole different vision and say, you know what, do it differently now. Because I gotten to the point where I didn't want to do the big stuff anymore. At RFA Catering, we did the whole grand opening of the Camp Creek Marketplace. We did the whole groundbreaking of it. We did all these big buildings downtown. I was tired, Keith. I was just tired. So I was tired of the big weddings. I was tired of I was tired of fighting to still try to say, look at us over here, and why aren't we still getting to where we're getting, but we're doing all these big jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was like, do what you love. And when, like you said, when things started happening with my health, it just took a different avenue. It was like, U-turn. do something different. Do something different to make a difference. And that was there my thought process going
Right.
forward.
Beautiful. You spoke a lot about, well, you touched on moving forward, but also being tired, not wanting to do, wanting to get off the beaten path of what you have been doing and what you and your parents had originally established. But what was that thing that drove you to keep cooking and to share your recipes with the world? That's a question for both of you.
Oh, now see, she know I get emotional with that. So with me, it was probably the young lady who's sitting next to me right now,
Mm.
who's on this with me. Um, she and the young people that I brought into the business at the same time, they were always my motivation. I would tell them all the time, and guys, I know you be like, you are not gonna say this, but I used to always say it. This don't work now. I'm gonna go get on the pole somewhere.
Jesus. I didn't know you were gonna say that. You could have kept that.
They were all like, "Chef!"
Right. I was like, wait, what?
But the thing was, they motivated me, Keith. I think one time I actually I made it to a level to be interviewed to be on the next food, what was it? Food Network.
Food Network.
Food Network, the next Food Network star.
Yeah.
And they asked the same question to me in my interview. I'm going to tell you, out of all the years that I've been in this industry, and not only just working in a catering company, I worked in some major restaurants in the city of Atlanta. So while I was working catering, I was also working in all these other major restaurants as well. And I understood it is hard for women chefs, very hard. But you got to have a backbone, because men are who run this industry right here as far as a chef. So I never cried. And in that interview, I cried. And she said, whoa. And I said, because she asked me the same question, and I said, I'm working for the young people that I have on my staff. That's what keeps me going. And it just brought tears to my eyes. And I knew then I wasn't going to get it. I didn't move no further. I cried. But that's my story. That's my motivation. And it still is my motivation, being at 50 years old now. Gia and all them, they keep me moving, keep me young, and keep me on my toes.
Vice versa.
Keep
me on my toes too, crazy.
Okay.
So the answer to your question for me is the same. I am an educator now. And I am an educator because of this person right here. So if you want to really be honest, I had that example. There you go. I had the perfect example coming from my father, my grandfather, and Chef Carr, and her parents too, because her parents teach me a lot as well. And they're all in culinary, right? So, I'm really, I'm an observer. So I love to watch things, watch how, people react to certain situations, watch how they work, the work ethic and stuff, and I adapt to that. But I have students who have already changed my life, and this is only my third year teaching. And, making sure, like, this generation, they have this mindset on where they believe that they can only do one thing. They have to find that one thing that they're good at, and that's it. And that's not the case. And sometimes they don't even really 100% believe that they can do it, So when I'm teaching, it's all about letting them know, of course, you can have many goals. I tell all my students the first day, this might not be what you want to do in life, but it's a plan. right? I'm teaching you a skill. I'm not just teaching you how to cook for your family. I'm teaching you a skill that you can use and, gain profit for, you know. And let's say that you want to be an actor. There's a lot of actors who now have cooking shows. That's two forms of income right there. But the difference is my student will probably know how to cook for real. The actors nowadays, they got somebody like replicating stuff, and they just like, oh, well, here you go, this is beef bourguignon, like, or whatever. But yeah, like I've always been taken care of. God has taken care of me my whole life. And I've had great support in my life, 100%. And I've always wanted to be that person for other people, because I see kids and as well as adults who never had support in their life. And I just want to make that difference. Make sure that they know that, hey, you have somebody in your corner. You have like, I can help you as much as you can. Even if you don't want to cook. I know people who are in this, career, this career, and we can help you get somewhere.
Right.
Are we
Gina cut up.
losing Gina?
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
losing Gina a little bit. So while Gina's getting set up again, or getting certain things situated, Chef, I want to ask you this. I think we talked. I mean, I know that we touched on this, and even Gina even spoke about it in short. But let's drive
I'm
this
sorry.
point home. I know that community, or contributing to your community, is important to you ladies. Why is it important to you guys? Like, why is that so important?
Whew. It's so important because um, people assume that we as Black people,
Mm-hmm.
that we don't want certain things, and that we can only eat a certain way. And so that was why we started doing what we were doing, to show that, you know what, there are people out here who really do want to do things a little differently and really do care about themselves. And so we wanted to be that person. When you see Southwest Atlanta, there was there's all the fried chicken places and the fish places, and and all of this. But what are we going to do for our community to say we want to give you something a little different? And then we want to take it a step further, because it goes back to, like we said, both of us having a love for kids, having a love for students, having a love for elderly. So then what do we do differently with these meals? We don't just say, we want you to order these meals. We now say, okay, let's go and thinking about what happened in 2020. What do we do now? Now we feed our community. Now we show them, okay, you may not have the money to purchase these meals, but guess what? We want to give you these meals. We want to feed you. And we want to feed you a little differently, but we want to feed you still where it makes you happy.
Wow.
So,
Gina, same question. Beautiful, Chef. Beautiful.
Can you reset the question, because
Well, let me. I'll just switch up. I'll ask a different question entirely,
okay, cool.
but closely related. When it's all said and done, what are you hoping that Fast Sisters means to the Atlanta area, and more specifically, as Chef was saying earlier, the Southwest area of Atlanta? What do you hope that it means? Like, when, in the grand scheme of things, like when we've become an enterprise and we've become a chain of some sort, whatever it looks like for you guys, what are you hoping that it means, like as a staple?
Well, I hope that people realize that you have somebody that cares about your well-being. We care about your life, you know. They say the two things that you really need is a great diet and exercise, right? And of course water. But but if you have that opportunity to go somewhere and get something that tastes good, but is good for you, and it's easily accessible to you, then the best decision is to go for it, right? And you know, we're here to show you, you know, how it doesn't have to be boring, you know, or and we're just, I mean, we're both two caring people, you know what I'm saying? I love where I'm from, you know what I'm saying? I'm from College Park, Georgia.
Right.
I love the people, you know, here. Everybody jokes and says that I say everybody's my cousin, but that may or may not be true, but who knows? But I'm gonna, if I care about you, and I said this to a lot of people, if I care about you, I'm gonna cook for you. I'm gonna feed you, you know? If I have the opportunity to come in your household, best believe I got my night bag in my trunk.
Right.
We can go get some groceries, and I will feed you and I'll cook for you, because that's what I love to do. It's the way that I give back. It's the way to show people how much I care, how much I value, you know, I value that person in my life, is if I cook for you. And I know, yeah, when it's all said and done, I want people to know that Fat Sisters has in some way changed my life. It's not just changed my eating habit, but that I can feel the love in the food. I can feel the love in the establishment when I come in.
And people don't know how real that is.
Right.
Like, you can literally taste if someone cared about what they were doing in the kitchen. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's so true. And people, that might be cliche to some people, but you can taste the difference. It's very true. So with that said, I know you know, it's very apparent that you ladies care about what you do. You care about people's health. You care about food. So how do you feel about the present state of the food industry itself?
It's a real tough. Yeah. it's tough right now for restaurants and the food industry. A lot of places have shut down. That's the sad part.
Yeah.
A lot of places have shut down, and but I know she touched on this a few minutes ago. And during the pandemic, and this just shows you how good God is for real. During the pandemic, we were able to feed so many people.
Yeah.
I mean, when Chef came to us in the we had one of our corporate meetings, and Chef was like, "Y'all, I want to do something different." Again, right? And whenever she says, "I want to do something different," I'm like, "Okay, well, what is it? Let me write it down in our notes," you know. And she said, "We got to feed the people. We are in a pandemic. This is our community. We need to feed our community." And she said, how do y'all feel about that? I'm like, "Okay, let's do it. What we gonna like? Okay, how we gonna do this? How we gonna get the people?" And we started off with students in the colleges and the universities. We asked she asked some of her church leaders, who are some people who are struggling right now. I asked some of my church leaders who are struggling right now, who need meals. I fed some of my students' families because I knew some of their parents lost their jobs. And we did it, and we stuck to it. You know, we were feeding like between 3 to 5 families a week. You know, that's delivering it. Yeah. And some people were surprised because they didn't know that people had them on the list for us. So when we would deliver them the meals, they were like, "Wait, where is this coming from?" And I'm like, "Oh," so it was funny because I didn't know, some of the people I didn't know, they didn't know they were getting food. So I was like, "Hey, what's that, sister?" They're like, "Who?" And I'm like, we got your meals." And they was like, "Wait, who?" So I was like, so Chef was like, "Oh, it's Gina. They don't know." I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm glad you told me now." So that because people weren't opening doors. I had a lady who looked at me and was like, "Hey, what? Who are you?" I'm like, "I got some food for you." So it was just really weird. But
Right.
they were so surprised and shocked, and they really appreciated it. And then you got to think about the people who actually bought them from us to send to those families. How they just show how our community really is. Like, they show how much they cared too about the people in the community. So it was a beautiful thing. I know Chef had to
Yeah,
say something.
and I don't think people get, you may say, "Oh, that's all y'all did," but in numbers, when you're feeding that many, it wasn't that you were just giving them, you know, 2 meals or whatever. You were feeding for the week, you
Right.
know.
Right.
And then when we had, I think what was so awesome about it as well is that when we had our clients, because I would send this just out newsletters and send it out through our text message, tell them what we were doing, and to see the response, and to see our clients who would just say, "You know what, I'm feeding so and so this week." We had people who were actually purchasing 20 meals for whole families. And it was like, "Oh, okay." So it wasn't going to them. They were doing this for other people. So that meant we're making a difference.
Right.
That meant what we're putting out there is working. And
Yeah.
that's the thing about community. I think community is just is so awesome. And it's not that you're looking for anything back. It's just what you keep giving. And that,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's back up. I know that you guys had naturally Southern jams for a little bit. That got remixed into something else. But let it be known that these women, they don't just make Welch's grape jams or preservatives or things of that nature. There's actually been the word fusion came up in this conversation, and there's literally a fusion happening with the jams. Chef, I know very little about jams. What are you guys doing with jams?
So what we're doing is just like you said, it's fusion. So it's not your typical jam. I always say it's jams made by chefs, and I always say it's for chefs, but it's also for the home cook. It's for the home cook who want to take this jam and say, "You know what? I can do what with this jam?" It's not just for bread. That's always been our slogan. It's not just for
Right.
bread. You could take this jam, you could take our jams, and you can make it out of a sauce. You can toss it. You can put it on top of ice cream. You can eat it right out the jar if you want to. We've had people do that. But it's taking flavors and just mixing them up.
Yeah.
Mexican mango, Asian chili, taking different type of spices, taking sweet and savory, and that's really the key too. It's that sweet and savory thing. One of our number one sellers this year has been the tomato basil jam. So we've got
Okay.
our tomato basil jam. We have our bacon jam. I always say everything is great with bacon. Um, and we also have, which is really like one of our seasonal jams, which is the peach cobbler jam. So it's like eating your peach cobbler right out the jar. And we've had some people do that. So
Wow.
yeah,
Adam.
yeah,
Shout out to
yeah.
Now,
that boy, Adam, boy.
Now, I know when it comes to making jams and when it comes to figuring out what should go with what, there is some trial and error involved, I would assume. What are some combinations that you guys thought would work, but you found out later didn't work, or you loved, but you found out wasn't necessarily a bestseller? Or one that might have been off-putting to people at first and it turned out like, man, like, yo, just taste it. I know it may not look the best or it may not sound the best, but it's really good. What are you guys' experiences with that?
Okay, so one that you would think is not good is the banana jam.
Mm,
Okay, we have this banana
Huh.
jam. We're not selling it right now, but when we had the bistro open, it was on our paninis, it was on our sandwiches. But this thing, banana jam, is unreal.
mm,
So that's one that people are like, what? A banana jam?
mm,
Yeah, banana jam.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
mm,
but the only one that really that has not worked out of all the flavors that we have, really there's only one that we still keep trying to figure out how we're gonna make better. And it's one that when I came up, what was the mint one, Gina? The
Blueberry mint.
blueberry mint.
That's right.
mm.
And
Blueberry
it's
mint.
really the only one that's kind of not working. So yeah, that's
Mm,
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah. That one
all the
was
rest of us,
easy.
we sit down, Keith, and we just like Gina say how we collaborate and how it's so funny how we may not even have talked about it to each other, but we can sit down and just write down these flavors, and then once we get together, what I was thinking that.
yeah,
And that's just how it works.
right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think so I'm a compulsive creator, right? If
Okay.
anybody follows Instagram, if I have an idea, it's gonna get done. So when we first started with the jams, I bought this cookbook. I was bored. I don't get bored as easily anymore. But I was bored and I wanted something to do. So I bought this jam book and I immediately started like reading um and and prepping these jams, stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
when we when I made one successfully, and it was the jalapeno peach jam, and took it to chef, and I was like, "What can we do with this?" And she tasted, and she was like, "What made you think to put those two together? Because this is great." And
Right.
I'm like, I was reading this book, you know what I'm saying? And chef, her family, they love spice, like they love heat, which is why I love heat now, because I can't eat anything without something spicy now. But
Mm-hmm.
she
I'm getting
just
there. I'm getting there. I'm
okay.
getting to that
Yeah,
space.
I gotta put
Yeah, I
I
understand.
I gotta put something. It's gotta be something with a little kick, a little something, and sometimes I had to get Tamika out of it because she'll put it in everything. And I'm like, well, not everybody likes heat. And she's like, well, this is what we do. We gotta put a little kick, little flavor. And I'm like, chef, we are not trying to kill nobody. Like,
Right,
we
right,
like it. But these
right.
people gonna be coughing and you dying at the event, and it ain't gonna be my fault.
Yeah.
So, but not, and then, or we'll joke, if I make something spicy and it's too spicy for her, she's like, dang, G, you trying to kill me? I'll just be like, oh, for real.
Right,
This is what
right,
we're doing.
right.
But,
Right how the tables have turned. Right.
right, exactly. But yeah, like, I don't know, like, I'm at the age in my career where, and of course, this should be where I'm at, where nothing can stop me, right? Like, nothing can stop me. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it then. Like, it's to the point where if I have the idea and I don't do it as soon as I would like, it's going to eat me up in my sleep. It's going to eat me up in my day-to-day thoughts. This Christmas, I wrote a production sheet of all the things that I was going to create. And I had a little checkbox. I love checkboxes. And I literally like marked off each one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I was like, oh, dang, I really did all that. So what am I going to do next? And then I find other things to do. And then sometimes when that comes to play, I'll even ask chef for a little bit of like encouragement, like, okay, chef, what haven't we done yet? Or what is something that we can do better? And she was like, okay, well, let's work on this. I'm like, okay, well, or she was like, gee, I need you to work on this type of jam. Like, we got these certain type of peppers that, we don't want to go bad. Think of something to do. I'm like, okay. And I'll research the crap out of everything. What spices, what's that can go with it. And I'll create something, and I come back to chef and be like, taste that.
Right.
And then, and that's where I'm trying to get my kids at too. I'm trying to get my kids there, but not just with cooking, but with their ideas. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Your kids, meaning your students.
My students, yeah. My students, yeah.
Yeah. I know that, you ladies being chefs, you've been asked this many a time. When is the cookbook coming out? Right? So my question to you ladies is more so, are you opposed to cookbooks? Are you for a cookbook?
Yes.
Yeah. And why? Because my thing, like, as a creative, I would think, like, man, I don't want anybody, like, I don't want to share how I do what I do with people. You know what I mean? Just, because this is an art form, and I know, that's at the forefront of everybody's mind. But, I never understood chefs or, culinary people at large just wanting to share their recipes with people, So why are you for doing a cookbook one day?
Okay, so in the beginning I wasn't, because of that exact reason. And I'm like, I ain't finna let y'all steal my stuff. Like I'll have people hit me up and be like, gee, how you do this? I'm like, I'm going to Google and I'm going to send you this link, and this is how they do it, because it's a lot for me to tell you. Like, to me, a person's never going to do my recipe how I do it, right? Because it's how I do it, right? But then you have to think, but you're not, I think the reason why chefs do cookbooks and why we're trying to do one is to share what we've learned, right? Give you an idea of how to do it, right? Give you like our thought process of why we, for instance, fried chicken our way, right? Or why we use our jams in our food. This is the reason why, or this is the background story for that. Chef did start with our cookbook, because we have been talking about it forever. Like, we've been talking about this cookbook forever. And what made me really happy was she was like, Gina, I want you to write the foreword or the intro. And I was like, really? And like, right? And I mean, yeah, it's a Fat Sisters cookbook, but I know it was more so her dream than it was mine at the time. Because again, I told you I wasn't for it. I didn't want to do it. But when she really kind of like broke down how she felt about writing this cookbook, and when she asked me to do the intro, I was like, okay, let me think on it, because it's gonna take me a minute. So first of all, I have to want to do it. So I have to put my mind, get my mind in it, and then what am I going to say? So I think didn't I finish the intro, show?
I can't hear you guys.
Okay.
I think maybe she can hear. Maybe you didn't finish the intro.
I thought it was my earbuds, but now all I hear is static.
I don't know.
You guys don't hear static?
No, ma'am.
No.
All I hear is static and echoing.
All right, let me try bringing you in again. So another question for you. This will be one of the last questions. Just a real maybe fun question. What's your favorite thing to cook? A question for both of you.
That's hard.
All right, give me top 5 favorite things to cook.
Okay, top 5 is good. All right.
Top
5. Anything Asian.
That's okay. Okay,
I mean,
narrow
it's
it
a wide
down some more.
variety. I know. That's why I can't condense it. It's hard. I'm trying to tell you, it's hard now.
Number 5, anything Asian. Okay. Number 4,
Yes,
number 4.
yes,
That could
yes.
be
That's how bad it is.
literally
I
almost everything in the world.
There you go.
Okay.
Bam, that right there.
Right.
No, but no. Okay,
Probably
I'm gonna
shouldn't
break it
have
down.
to ask the chef that question. That's a lesson for
No,
next time.
no.
That's my bad.
Okay. I'll break it down. So I like making baked ziti. That's one.
Okay.
Brownies. Homemade brownies, to me, I don't know what it is. The process, I don't even have to eat them. The process of making brownies or cookies is awesome because it'll take me to a whole nother world. Pizza now, because I have a brand new pizza oven I got for Christmas. Shout out to my mom, my dad, and Chef Rutherford. Love y'all, appreciate y'all. I have an outdoor pizza oven. And I was just about to give you a shout out. First of all, you'll never know what's coming out my mouth. I was finna give her own personal shout out, but y'all see how she can't wait. So once I got this pizza oven, you cannot work it without a propane tank. So my lovely lady right here, Chef T, came with me to Lowe's. Apparently I pressured her to get in it too early. And bought me a propane tank. And I hooked that bad boy up that day. So appreciate you, Chef. Love you. And what did I do? I sent your pizza to your house. So bam, there you go.
Yes.
And last but not least, it will probably have to be I already said cookies, Mom.
But
What's
you see,
okay, there's a new.
What's the question?
well, I'll ask you the same question too, Chef. But you see how interesting that is? Like for a layman like myself, a person who isn't a chef by any stretch of the imagination, you would think that you would be naming a lot of these foreign things, a lot of, you know what I mean? And your favorite things to cook are cookies, pizza, brownies, you know what I mean? Things of that nature, you know what I mean?
But with my own twist though, it's not your regular stuff.
Okay, right.
It's like a fusion of things.
Okay.
That's the thing. I think that's the thing that's different.
Right.
Okay.
So you're gonna trip with mine, cause see with mine,
wine and cheese boards.
hey, mine.
Hey,
mine is just salads.
Salads.
Right.
Really and truly, it is, and a lot of people
She's
like
the salad queen.
But it's what you could do with the salad, and it's all different types of things that you can do with the salad, but salads, any type of chicken dish, any type of chicken. I think lately I've become the meat chef because taking all kind of meat and just doing what I love to do with them. My favorite dish of all to cook is to roast a chicken.
Okay.
Oh yes.
It's this lemon lavender chicken that I love to do. So take lemon lavender with purple mashed potatoes, and it's like my favorite thing. That's my favorite. Yeah.
And it's good too.
Yeah. Yeah. I love lavender in everything, and it's just the best. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, you put lavender in the salad.
Yeah, lavender in the salad, lavender on the chicken, lemon lavender chicken, delicious.
Does lavender
But
taste
see, this
how
the
it
thing.
smells?
So this the thing. There's two things about lavender though. No. There's two things about lavender.
No.
So you have the edible lavender, which is the flower. And it actually tastes more like when you mix it with it tastes more like a herb. So it won't taste like just like how it smells.
So it won't taste like it won't taste like a Glade plugin.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
It won't taste like potpourri in your mouth. It will not. I promise
I
Okay.
you.
mean, the best
Yeah.
thing to mix with lavender though is lemon. Like lemon lavender
Yeah.
cookies, lemon curd, and lavender. Anything lemon acidity, it brings
Yeah.
out that lavender flavor. So yeah,
Mm.
Right.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't guessed or gathered by now, these are real chefs that we are speaking to. Um, this is not like Dr. Dre or Dr. J or anything like that. They earned these titles, got the certificates and the diplomas and degrees to prove them. So last question, ladies. This has been a rich interview. I really appreciate your time. But Gina wanted me to ask a question. I think that this is kind of like a poignant question even. Does social media really work for Black-owned businesses?
This is actually Chef Carr's question.
Yeah.
Well, I love it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, to me, considering I am the old head who started this years back,
Mm,
social media has changed a lot.
yeah.
I thought when I came back home and we were going to start Fat Sisters up, it was going to be a breeze because everybody was going to remember RFK. You know what I'm saying? And it was just going to be, and when I left with RFA Catering, it was only Facebook. You only had Facebook, and Facebook, we had about 800, 900 followers from that catering. But I really thought we wouldn't really have to do much work. It seems like now have to work a little harder. And it seems like to me, as far as Black businesses, it depends on who you know and what you're actually showing on social media. Unfortunately, we're not showing fried lobster mac and cheese, deep fried this, throw it on top of this, and we're not doing all that. We're not, and I think it's become a lot harder because now you've got these people who they're doing all this stuff and they're doing it in their homes.
Right.
And I'm not trying to say, because I always tell anybody, you don't have to go to school to do what we do. You don't. I used to tell Gina them that all the time. You do not. But I think with Black businesses, and especially food businesses, it's become like, if you don't know this person or that person, and if this not popping or we not, it's just not working. You
Right.
get what I'm saying? So
Totally.
it's yeah. So it's becoming and I hear so much, well, maybe I need to do TikTok, or maybe you need to do. It's a lot now. I'm just like this is just too much.
Right.
It really is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So right. That's where I am with it. I really don't. I don't know.
I hear you. Yeah. Social media is an ever-changing medium,
Right.
where what's hot today might not be hot tomorrow, and it's getting faster. Like TikTok is living up to its name. Like where the time, what I mean, 7 seconds or whatever it is,
Right.
you in and you out. I don't know. It's I think I'm not going to talk like I have the answers because I have my love-hate relationship with social media as well. Hence why we're doing this live. We've been live since we've been on for almost an hour now. I just look at it now as a way to engage. You know what I mean? Not necessarily a way to render sales or create awareness anymore, but because I think that's a byproduct of what social media is actually for, at least from face-to-face value. I look at it as a way to engage the people that are already involved with what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And ultimately, those people are the ones that get the word out about who it is and what it is that I'm doing. You know, I kind of look at it now as like a time capsule more than anything. You know, there are times when you can boost whatever it is and showcase what you're doing by doing endorsements, or not endorsements, advertisements and things of that nature, you know, and, you know, to garner a new audience and things of that nature. But for the most part, I just look at it like, hey, everybody that's already in tune with what I'm doing, thank you for being a part of this team. Here's what we are continuing to do, you know. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a way to keep it consistent in this inconsistent space, you know, just personally speaking.
Right.
Gina.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
oh my bad.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, it all always depends on who you know. And so since I'm the younger person in this team,
Why are you putting that in quotes?
because she's still young. She's still young.
Oh, that's true.
So but I know people in my age group who go through all those social medias, right? And you know, I have to learn for our business. Well, we both have to learn, but I have to learn and keep up for our business on, you know, what is best for us, what medium is best for us to use, you know, to kind of promote who we are. Usually word of mouth is still good. And then having people to kind of advertise for you as well, like family and friends and stuff like that. But the thing about that is family and friends have to know you need to open your mouth. Like you can't just be like, oh, they're my niece, and you know, this what she do. But like you have to really understand
and she'll
what
do it for free because she did it for me for free.
Right. Yeah. Call her up, she can do this. Like, no. Like I'm a professional. Chef is a professional. You, Keith, are a professional, right? This is what we do, you know. And but I like all my friends know I'm gonna, if you do something, I'm gonna let people know what you do, because that's the best way I can do it. That's the best way I can support you. If I can't support you financially, I'm gonna open my mouth and be like, "Oh, you need some? Who? Okay, they for real. Like, don't be playing with their time. But here's their number, or here's their contact information. Like, that's for us as well. That's what we need. That's what we want. In order for us to get out there, we need more people to tag, post, share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be, you know, at the cookout saying, "Oh, this is what they do." You know, hit them up. No, you got to do what we do as well. Chef Tamika, and I can say this, Chef Tamika takes care of most of all the management work. You know, she's out there. She's trying to, you know, really showcase what we do in different mediums.
Right. I don't think, I mean, you don't get the American Airlines gig out of thin air, you know?
Right.
That took hard work. That's, you know, that's amazing thing that somebody was behind the scenes doing something tremendous. You know?
Right. Exactly. And then, you know, and we don't just with us, we're not gonna just show you what we do. We're gonna tell you to taste it or try something.
Yeah.
Try this. You know, this what, or Chef always says, you know, you promote very well on your personal Instagram page. Because I'm always tagging us on something. I'm always like, okay, I'm Chef G, you know, this is what I do, but I'm also I am a part of Fat Sisters. Look at what we do. Look at what we can do for you at your event, you know. Right. So yeah, it's difficult. I guess it just, again, it's all about who you know still, what and how you know how to kind of like tweak things, I guess, or rig things to make it work for you. That, I think, that's the best. That's the best.
Social media is a thing that when it works you know what I mean, it works, you know, like it just blows up, you know, that's what it means to go viral. But people, they don't understand the amount of work that is put into like the many posts it takes for one post to go viral, and then all of a sudden you're the belle of the ball, you are a household name, you know what I mean, like you're this quote unquote overnight success, you know what I mean. But I think those things that have been tried and true over the years, they still work. Here are some samples that you can try. You know, here are doing the catering, even still doing the home deliveries, even still, you know, doing all of those things. Like, yeah, cool, you guys popped over one night, but you ain't tried and true. I look at personally, I look at a Steve Harvey. You know, Steve Harvey, and I'm not even a fan of his, but I guess I'm a fan of his like work acumen, where he's never been the hottest thing in the world, but his brand is being consistent. You know, now you see a lot of cooking companies come and go. You see a lot of restaurants come and go, but you know, to be consistent is in and of itself a brand. And I definitely believe in you guys, and I believe that you know, I haven't been there since the inception. I'm not going to act like I have, but I've seen, you know, and I've been interested and been intrigued in some parts, been privileged to be a part of this story, and to see you guys come from where you were and to see where you guys are going and where you are and where you're headed is amazing. And you know, and I'm not saying, and I know that you guys ain't quitting. It's a testimony to the stick-to-itiveness that you ladies have and are continuing to exhibit and exemplify. So let's talk about, you know, where they can find you at. They can find you. Their website is FAT-SISTERS.com. That's fat-sisters.com. Where can they find you ladies on social media?
You can find us. You can find us on IG at Fat Sisters Atlanta. That's Fat Sisters Atlanta ATL. That's also the same for the Facebook, Fat Sisters Atlanta. As well, on Twitter, it's at I think it's at Chef TC, but it's our Fat Sisters page as well. So,
and what's your Instagram, Chef?
Oh, my Instagram is at Chef T Car. Yes, that's my IG.
Car is CARR.
CARR. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm at chef_GG_Bina. And again, she's already given the company name. And then on Facebook, I am Gina Patrice, where you can also find a lot of what we do on our pages as well.
Right.
Yeah, I think there was like one more thing that I wanted to say, because we didn't. It's like the most important thing.
Let's go for it.
So, Fat Sisters, what it means, and it means to inherit the fat of the land. A lot of people ask us, why Fat Sisters? Is it PHAT? And we're like, no, it's FAT. And he's like, well, y'all not fat. And I'm like, well, thank you, but we still say FAT. And it's all about inheriting God's promise. God has a plan for everybody in the world, you know, and God is in everything. And God has promised for us to prosper. And we are two prosperous, you know, women on the move, trying to help not just our African American community, but to help the world and to help them see, you know, what God has truly done for us and our families and for this company. And Chef, again, came up with this. She found the Bible verse. She, again, communicated and called me up and was like, Gina, this is perfect. This is who we are. And I think you're gonna like it. And, you know, and when I did, because I'm heavily, you know, a believer in God as she is, and as my family is, and as her family is.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we couldn't have done this without our belief in him. So that's really one thing that we couldn't get, you know, we couldn't leave the show without saying. I'm sure I would have been very upset because, you know, I was taught better than that. So thank you, Lord. And thank you to my family, as well as Chef's Car's family. I've learned a lot throughout, you know, my life from both sides, of course. And, you know, making sure that my belief has grown because of that as well. So, yeah, just want to say that. Any words, Chef? Did I miss anything?
No, well said. Well said.
I think that's a perfect way to end this. Ladies, thank you so much for being here with me today. Again, if you are in the Atlanta area, be sure to hit up that website, FAT-SISTERS.com, fat-sisters.com. Hopefully you guys figure out the whole shipping stuff thing so I can get some stuff, man.
Oh no, what are you talking about? You can get some stuff.
Meals.
Yeah.
Oh, you want the
you got merchandise. They also have merchandise.
But you can get the jams now. You can.
I can get
merch.
That's true.
Yes, you can get the jams.
All right, let's look up some stuff.
He want food.
Right.
I do want food. I do want food because as a single man, like I want home cooked stuff. You know,
he wants the food.
So
he wants the
2021, sitting down, been regrouping. Right. I'm going to put this out